and gentlemen, boys and girls, have no fear. Your favorite neighborhood light-skinned man is here. And in today's video, we are going to be ranking archetypes that get the most Huzz. You know, this idea came to me a couple days ago. I'm a couple days late to filming it. You know, but what does Drake say? Never late is better. I mean, never late than better late than never, but never late is better. You know, say whatever, right? With that being said, enough yapping. Let's go to get to this video, right? Now, how we're going, the criteria for how this list is going to go is in a scenario where you are put in a position to get the Huzz, right? How likely or what is the best method to get the Huzz, right? So, if actually let's go for example, right? Michael Porter Jr., right? This archetype, typically this player build of Michael Porter Jr., this is going to be your 6'3" to 6'5" tatted goatee light-skinned man, right? You know what I'm saying? Or your light-skinned Jaden pretty boy, whatever the fuck you want to think about, right? This is the type of guy who's gonna be in the function and walk up to two of the baddest girls in the function and be like, yo, which one of y'all want me? Right like that. Right like that. Who want me? And this is all the same guy that's gonna send the EYP text or come pull up and eat this meat, right? But you know the key difference is? The shot goes in. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. But this archetype of build right here, these niggas be shooting the most outrageous of shots. Like shit that you look at and scratch your head of like, how did he make that? How did he bag her by doing this? But they somehow managed to do it. Now again, in terms of ranking as a method you could follow that's gonna get hoes, bro, I'm gonna probably have to put this in C tier. Because truly speaking, you're not really gonna be able to run the MPJ method unless you were just like, you had to. Well, I guess you could be the tattoos and shit. You can kind of develop that. I'll put it in a B tier. I'll put it in a B tier. Some of this involves shit that you just have no control over. You know what I mean? Some of this you just like, there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. Next on the list, what are we gonna have here? Let's do Tony Snell. And for those of y'all who are, you know what I'm saying, a little bit younger and who doesn't know who Tony Snell is, in getting Huzz terminology, Tony Snell is the guy who sits in the corner of the club, right? And every time a bad bitch walk by, damn, she bad. Damn, she bad. Damn, she bad as fuck. You know what I'm saying? This is the guy that's going to go to the function and let off about 50, damn, she's bad. He's not going to necessarily do anything that's going to mess up his image, but he's also not going to bag hoes either. And again, this is a list of playstyles that get the most Huzz. So, you know, unfortunately, Tony Snell, we're going to go ahead and put you in a D tier. Yeah, if you're trying to get Huzz, bruh, don't run this method. You know, it's not going to work for you. Next on the list, let's go Magic Johnson, right? Now, for generals, you know what I'm saying? In terms of running 2-3-mans, everybody needs a good floor general. You know what I mean? Like, everybody needs somebody who's going to be able to get other people involved, get the offense running, set up the situations to link with the hoes, right? But in this instance, like, this guy can get a bucket, but like, they get off more by seeing their teammates win. You know what I mean? Like, or low-key, Magic might not have been the right person to use here. Low-key, somebody like Ricky Rubio or Chris Paul might have been a better person to use in this instance. But we already started the video, so we're not gonna go back and edit it. But in terms of getting hoes with the pass first build, I'm gonna have to put that in probably C, B. Well, I'll put it in B tier. Reason being, I'll put this in B tier is because you could play make so many people, and you know what I'm saying, the Huzz can see you playmaking and be like, damn, you know, and essentially you're the leader of the group, pretty much, right? You're pretty much the leader in the group, and you know what I'm saying, certain hoes just want to, you know what I'm saying, crack the group leader, quote unquote, or whatever, right? So certain hoes, yeah, you might slide and put them on your man, put your mans on, but they might be like, I want you, so I'm gonna go fuck with you. But in terms of like, again, you're pass first, right? So you might pass off a crazy baddie to get your homie right for a better look, you know? So we're just gonna go and put that in B tier. Next on the list, we're gonna have the Jared McCain Zesty archetype. Now, I feel like y'all are probably expecting me to be like, this is automatically D tier, but shockingly enough, I'm gonna put this in A tier. You know, reason being, I'm gonna put the Jared McCain archetype in A tier is because the Jared McCain archetype, right? Some of these player builds are only gonna work for specific races of women. You know what I mean? Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like the Jared McCain Zesty archetype that's more in touch with his feminine side in a sense. It's just gonna be a lot more broader of like a bridge that can fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Fun fact. I actually got some buns because a girl said I look like Jared McCain. No, I used to have sometimes I have my hair out in a big curly afro. Right now, I got the braids in, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like dealing with that shit. But this could work. Because especially with Jared McCain trending, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Girls want that, you know what I'm saying? The light skin, you know, in touch with his feminine, likes to read, journal, go to picnics. You know what I'm saying? Hoes fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a pretty easy method that most people can run, you know, like because it doesn't require you to be overly tall. You know, I mean, it does require you to be in shape a decent bit, but I feel like anybody can get in shape. Um, yeah, I feel like in terms of getting Huzz, you could run that method pretty successfully, in my opinion. I used to make Instagram reels. When I had my fro out, people would literally comment under my videos and tell me I look like an evil Jared McCain. But I still got play from it though. So take that as you will, but I think that archetype can get hoes. Next on the list, we are going to have the 3-and-D superstar Kawhi Leonard player build, right? Now think like DDG from Streamer University, right? And so when you think of Kawhi Leonard type builds, right? These dudes are going to dirty Mac the fuck out of you. They're gonna say whatever they need to say. They're gonna do whatever they need to do to make sure you don't score, right? And they have decently good offense too, to where, yeah, they're gonna make you look bad in front of the hoes and still make themselves look good because they know how to get to the bucket, hit a mid-range pull up, step back three. They have it all. They have it all in their bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a pretty good method to run. Well, the cons with running this method is you have to have really great offense. Because I would say, I feel like hoes have kind of gotten onto the whole dirty Mac method. You know, I feel like that method's kind of played out in the sense like hoes know when you trying to little boy somebody, put niggas in unnecessary headlocks just to get hoes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hoes don't really fuck with that. So, I think about it more. The Kawhi, back in the day, this used to be a great build before, you know what I'm saying, the Huzz got notified of this method. I'm gonna put this in another B tier. Also, I probably by the end of this list, after I'm done, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna adjust the tier list and rankings of all of that. You know, make one final adjustment. Next, we have on the list the Kyrie Irving shot creator, gets you a bucket in any situation archetype. Now, I have a friend who is like this Kyrie, right? These are the guys that on paper, right? You look at their stats, you look at their attributes, you look at everything about them, right? They should not be able to win. They shouldn't be able to finish as good in the paint as they do. Their mid-range shouldn't be this tough. Their handle shouldn't be this nice. They shouldn't be able to score the way they do. But somehow, some way, they're going to find a way to get it done. Every time, you know? These are the type of players who will walk up to 4 or 5 Huzz. You know what I'm saying? It might take them 2, 3, 4, 5 dribbles, but they're gonna get you a guaranteed for sure. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be able to create you a shot out of nowhere. You know, these are the type of guys where you drop in any random city, you give these guys a week. By the end of the week, they're ending it with a full roster. You know? So, but not everybody has this in them to get the hoes. I understand. I can't run this method. You know what I'm saying? To run this method efficiently, You have to look good and you have to be really good with words. You have to know how to talk, and I'm saying to a certain extent. Now I'll say you can get ethical buckets doing this, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes to make sure you get the bucket, you're gonna have to dribble a little bit more, and some of us can't talk. Some of us have to just get our shit off quick to be efficient. So with that, this is a if you can master this method, this is for sure S tier. But because like it takes so much to master, I'm gonna have to put this in C tier in terms of getting hoes. Because this isn't something that I can just tell you, oh, do this, and overnight you're gonna be able to get the host. No, this is going to take a long period of practice to actually get good and efficient with this method, you know. But next, we have on the list the Jalen Williams archetype. Now, the archetype of God is the guy. He is amazing in terms of 3 mans, 4 mans. He's the guy that when the hoes flake at the end of the night and y'all sitting around and y'all mad, he's gonna lift the spirit up. He's gonna lift the team around. He's gonna boost everything up. He's gonna make sure the vibes are good. Now, can this guy create a bucket? Typically not. Typically not. He's not gonna be able to go out and sauce get into a bag. He's not gonna be able to usually do that. But if this guy's with you on the team, he's not gonna hoe you either. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna keep everybody laughing. He's gonna keep the vibe of the whole group situation immaculate, essentially. But in terms of getting hoes off this method, I would put this D tier, but with having so good vibes, some girls like. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna put it in D tier only because, in terms of a one-on-one go and get you a bucket matchup, this build typically can't do it. But if you're on a 2-man, 3-man, whatever, some girls might just give you some play off the fact that you just have great vibes. Next on the list, we have. Let's go. What do I want to go next on? Let's go the injury reserve Anthony Davis archetype. This is the archetype of man who, when he's available to go out, he dominates the game, both sides, offense, defense. He's shutting everything down. You know what I'm saying? Like this could really be a lot of teams' number ones on the 2, 3 man or whatever. I'm saying he can. I'm not gonna say he's a championship caliber talent, but he's a great talent to have. He can go out and he's gonna get hoes. It's just the problem with this specific build is he's just never available. This nigga's never available. He's never available to go get hoes or whatever, right? So, but yeah, in terms of the one-on-one list, if this build is available, well, actually, you got to be kind of taller, decently handsome. I'll put this in B tier also. This is a B tier list, but actually, I'm gonna put it in C only because typically this guy doesn't go out a lot. You know what I'm saying? So people, it's like the hoes are gonna move on because you're not gonna be available to link this and that or whatever. But when they're out and I'm saying prowling the scene, they're dominant. They're gonna get hoes. They're gonna do their thing. They're gonna have a good time. But they're just not available. Next on the list, we have your Marcus Smart build, your pure defensive specialist. Now, these are the worst type of. These are the type of niggas who kind of similar to the Kawhi Leonard archetype are going to dirty mac you. They're gonna hate. They're gonna, bruh, like he's cheating on you anyway. He's doing this. He's doing wrong behind me. This is that archetype of guy, a fella, whatever, right? But the difference between this build and the Kawhi Leonard type build is this nigga has no offense. It's like, yeah, you just dirty mac this other nigga, but like, nigga, she's not gonna let you fuck either. She's not. She's not gonna let you fuck either. So it's like, depending on how you want to look at this, you could consider this a win if your goal was neither of y'all to get no play, or if your goal was to dirty mac him thinking she was gonna let you fuck. This is a horrible method. I would not advise nobody to run this method. So for that, we're gonna go ahead and have to put the Marcus Smart method in B tier. Horrible method. Next on the list, we're going to go the Manu Ginobili archetype. the Manu Ginobili archetype. What is this? This is gonna be your sixth man. This is gonna be in terms of like the Huzz, right? Where in their mind, you're not their number one option. They're not their leading scorer. You're not none of that. But say if their starter cancels on Friday night or whatever, right? And they're bored, right? As a Manu Ginobili build, you have enough to where like, okay, cool. Like if you hit her up the hang and her number one cancels on you, she's gonna link you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get played. You know, you're gonna get hoes running this method. But some people, you have to kind of accept that you're never gonna be her number one option. You know what I mean? You gotta accept that if her star player is available and hooping, you're gonna have to play a backseat role. And now some people are perfectly fine with this method. You could also refer to this method as side nigga method, you know? Some niggas want to be the face of the franchise, championship caliber player, etc., etc. So I mean, you know, in terms of getting hoes, I'm gonna personally put this in C tier. You know, I think personally, I don't want to be a backup option to nobody, but you can run this method and get hoes running this method. You know what I'm saying? But I just wouldn't do it. Right. Next on the list, we're gonna do the Andre Drummond rebound chaser method, right? This is the guys that are gonna hustle, you know what I'm saying, crash the boards. They're gonna bang it down with the paint beast down there. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get the big girls, you know what I'm saying? That's where they dominate. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get the rebounds. Typically, these are gonna be the girls that just got out of relationships. The girls that are looking for somebody to quickly, you know what I'm saying, get back in the scene. They're gonna be there, waiting to grab the board, you know what I'm saying, and do that. And that's how they get their buckets, you know what I'm saying? So, like, clearly you can get hoes running this method because people do run this method. But I personally wouldn't run it. But I could see you having some success with it. You know, and honestly, depending on if you run this method right, bro, like depending on what you're in terms of getting hoes, right? I'm gonna have to put this low key. Might put this in A tier. The only downfall of it is again, you're waiting for women to get out of relationships and like you're there to kind of be Prince and Charming in a sense. But people are constantly breaking up and stuff like that, so you low key, you might be good, you know? Next on the list. Actually, no, in terms of getting I'm gonna move Kyrie Irving to S tier. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna move Kyrie and I'm gonna move Jared to S tier. Next we have your post scorers, right? So these are the people who know, hey, you know, I work great with bigger girls, you know what I'm saying? Give me the ball on the block, you know, and I'm gonna do what I do. My offense is very simple. I'm not gonna do anything overly extravagant to get the Huzz, you know. But my methods works, you know. I'm gonna consistently have a girl around, you know. It's constant flow, you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, you can't really do nothing but respect, you know it, because it's like they're not doing anything that's like, oh my god, like that was a fucking horrible shot, like Michael Porter Jr. But they're not gonna do anything that's gonna like wow you either. Like they're not doing anything that's mind blowing though to get hosts either. You know what I'm saying? This is a very simple guy, simple game. So low key with that, this might be a S tier method. You know, I feel like a lot of people could run this method. You know, I think it's a great method. You know, it's because all you're doing is learning a very few. So actually, no, I'm gonna bump it down to A. I'm gonna bump it down A tier. Only reason I'm gonna put it in A tier is because for this method, there's gonna be a level of women who are gonna want you to overly do the most. And unlike the Kyrie Irving build, this build, the Tim Duncan build, just doesn't have it in them to do overly the most. You know? So fortunately, we're gonna knock it down from S tier to A tier. Next, the Carmelo Anthony build. Holy fuck. This build right here. This is the guy who pulls up to the function, white tee, Adidas track pants, Air Force Ones, and no matter what, he's gonna leave with something. I'm saying this guy can get a bucket in a telephone booth, you know, and he doesn't have to do too much. He's not relying on having a fancy car. He's not relying on having expensive clothes on. You know what I'm saying? It's just him, himself, and I. This is a one man army. This is one man offense right here. You could dump this guy similar to the Kyrie Irving build in the middle of nowhere, and he's gonna come back, with a village. He's this is an elite level talent right here. You know what I'm saying? And again, another build that not everybody can run. So, but if you can run this method, like if you can run this method, you will never not have Huzz, right? Never. You know. So where do I want to put this? Let's put this in. We're gonna put this the Carmelo build. I'll put it in A tier. Oh, fuck. Oh shit. Okay. Next on the list, we have your Klay Thompson build, right? This is gonna be your 3-and-D guy. This is gonna be the guy who, you know, he's similar to Michael Porter Jr., but different. Similar in the sense of they're gonna, what I'm saying. The difference I would say between the Michael Porter Jr. build and the Klay Thompson build is the Klay Thompson build is a lot more safe and has a lot more potential for higher upside. Well, actually, the upside potential on the Michael Porter Jr. is crazy because he's just gonna shoot whatever. But the Klay Thompson build has way less of a downside because he's not gonna be, unlike the Michael Porter Jr. type, walk up and just shoot some crazy shit. This is the guy who he's gonna sit back, be reserved. You know what I'm saying? One night he might have 0 points, the next night he might have 30. You know what I'm saying? He just lets the game come to him, let the offense flow to him. He's not gonna force a shot. If it's open, he's gonna take it. The ball is gonna find his hands. He's gonna play defense. This is a great guy you would want on a 2-man. He's not gonna overly exert himself on the game. But you will, by the end of the night, you will see that he has most likely he usually have gotten buckets, And then this is another method that I feel like, due to the fact that there's less downsides in the MPJ build, this is an S tier method. Like a lot of people, I low key run this method. You could ask my homies, I don't really say too much. Well, I run a mix between the Klay Thompson and the Michael Porter Jr. method. Where usually depending on how I feel, sometimes I might just walk up and I might just big dog shit, And which I used to do when I was younger, but that shit can go horribly wrong if you're not built like that, So the Klay Thompson build is a lot more safer because you're letting the offense come to you, letting the hoes walk to you and approach to you. And really all you gotta do is just not say too much, take a dribble or two if you have to. Talk a little bit. Most of the time though, as long as you just chill, quiet, and shoot the open shots you get, you're gonna get hoes. Whatever, right? Next on the list, we have the Rudy Gobert build, which similar to the Marcus Smart build, nobody fucks with this nigga. Everybody hates this nigga. This is the overly big 6'6", 6'8" nigga who's like 300 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Constantly putting niggas in headlocks, rear naked chokes in front of the hoes and shit. Like, nobody likes this nigga. You know what I'm saying? The hoes don't like this nigga. Everybody hates this, right? This is a horrible build. You know what I'm saying? Just because you think you big and you can watch if I put this nigga in a chokehold, the hoes gonna fuck with me. No, gang, they're gonna think you're lame as fuck. Nobody wants to fuck with a nigga like that. So for obvious reasons, in terms of getting hoes, this is going in the D tier. This is fucking horrible. Don't do this shit. Nobody likes a nigga like this. Nobody likes Rudy Gobert in the you know what I'm saying, NBA period, It's a horrible method. Next on the list, we're going to do the LeBron James point forward, right? Now, some niggas on this list some of y'all might be like, yo, what's the difference between this and the Magic build? In my opinion, the difference is the LeBron point forward build. He's gonna guide everybody where he needs to be. Again, perfect leader for a 2-man, 3-man type of situation, right? He's gonna guide everybody when they need to go, get them in position to, handle everything right, properly. But this guy also does have the ability to take over the game. He has the ability to be a 1-man offense, which I necessarily don't think the Magic Johnson build can be, But this guy is extremely versatile. He needs to play make for a night. His teammates going off on a 2-man, he can do that. You need him to step up, be the number 1 option, carry the squad load. He can do that as well, So, in my opinion, I'm gonna put LeBron build in terms of getting hoes probably A tier. The only reason I won't put it in S is because I feel like I won't put it in S just because I feel like not that many people can truly run this method successfully. Actually, no, I'll put it in S tier because you can get a lot of hoes running this method, you know? And you'll constantly have a supply of hoes around, whether they'll hoes for you or hoes to slide and put on your meds, you know? Next on the list, we're going to have the Duncan Robinson archetype. Right. The difference between the Klay Thompson archetype and this archetype is it's like the Klay archetype has a little bit more versatility. Like he can defend if needed be. You know what I'm saying? You can bring him on the two men and he's not gonna be a liability in terms of getting hoes. The Duncan Robinson nigga, all he can do is shoot. He can't play no fucking defense. He can't fucking get to the rim. He can't fucking dribble. He can't create a shot. He's purely reliant on the niggas around him, you know? Which to a certain extent you could say what the Klay Thompson build is too, but I don't know. I just feel like it's more versatile, in my opinion. You know, this is my list. If you disagree, you could let me know in the comment. But I don't know. Like the Duncan Robinson build, I'm gonna have to put this build in C tier. You know. Next on the list. Let's go. Let's go LaMelo Ball build. Right, LaMelo Ball. Now, what I just talked about on the LeBron James build, right? LaMelo Ball is similar, just a little bit worse of shot selection. It's like if LeBron James and Kyrie Irving combine into one, whatever, right? Where you're gonna get the playmaker, you're gonna get a nigga that's gonna be able to dish the rock, but he's also gonna be able to create a shot. He's gonna be able to create shots. The only difference is the basic looks. He's not gonna be able to do like the basic right-handed layup. Like his buckets are only tough buckets. You know what I mean? He's only going for highlights every moment, which sometimes might cost this nigga to lose a couple of hoes every now and then. You know what I'm saying? He might not be able to keep hoes around because he's gonna overly do some shit and turn the ball over, and that's gonna turn off certain hoes, whatever, right? So for that, I'm gonna have to put it in. I'll put it in A tier, but again, just the fact that it's a little more turnover prone. Like these guys don't like taking basic shots. You know what I'm saying? If it's basic, like I remember the epitome of this is that play where LaMelo Ball was top of the key guarding Andre or DeAndre Ayton was guarding him. He was top of the key creating a shot. He went blew by. Right? He could have just got to the rim. You know, he could have just went to the rim, but instead snatched back, came back to the perimeter and shot a three. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna make the shots overly unnecessary difficult. Which again, when they make them, it's tough as fuck. But when they miss them, like bro, like you didn't have to do all that. You could have just did the normal basic shit. You would have fucking scored. So yeah. Next on the list, we're gonna do Shea, the Shea build. This is just your nonchalant, you know, very kind of similar to Tim Duncan build, where just like how he said in the interview the other day when he hit the game winner on OKC, he has all the answers to the test. He just needs to know which question comes first. You know, if he needs to do the most, he's gonna do the most to get a bucket. If he needs to pound right because you're guarding him on the left, he can do that. If he needs to step back on the left because you're guarding him on the right, he can do that. If you need him, if you're playing tight, he can blow by, get to the rim. If you're playing back, he can pull up for three. You know what I mean? This is a very versatile scorer. He can get a bucket in pretty much every situation. And there's no real complaints about him. It's other niggas really hating on him because of him getting hoes. But in terms of what he's doing to get the hoes, in my opinion, usually not really unethical. You know, this is a great method to get hoes, you know? So I'm gonna have to put this in S tier. And with saying that, the Dion Waiters bill, holy fuck, this nigga's going in DJ. This is a horrible. This is the guy, right? We're similar to LaMelo Ball, where he's gonna do the most to get a bucket, and they're gonna have times where they do go off. Sometimes they might go out and have a 40 ball. But you know what's gonna happen the very next day? The nigga's gonna have fucking zero on over 17 shot. So it's just not reliable of a method to get hoes. You know what I mean? Like there's so many other things you could do. Like I don't know. I don't advise anybody to run that method either. You know. It's just a horrible fucking method. And then that's how you get passed around from team to team to team because you're just an inefficient scorer. You don't get buckets. Nobody can rely on you to get buckets. So yeah. And then last on the list, we're gonna have just your light skinned PG that creates his own shot off the dribble. You know what I'm saying? Splashes for three. Can't get to the paint. Can shoot the mid range. He can work on ball, off ball. This again, that's another great guy to have on the 2-man list, right? But no, I'm not sure we're gonna put him in S tier. Because no matter what situation you have him in terms of methods to get host, this guy can create his own shot off the dribble. This guy can get a 3-pointer, so he's gonna get beautiful women, whether he has to walk up and approach them, or he's playing off somebody else on the 2-man and they put him on. This guy, very rarely is he gonna make mistakes that are gonna screw up the whole play with the Huzz. He shoots shots similar to Michael Porter Jr., where you're like, damn, but they go in also. You know what I'm saying? Like he, in terms of shot making, he's even better efficiency wise, I would say, than the Michael Porter Jr. build. Yeah. So to recap this list, D tier, the cardio nigga, the team morale, the pure defensive player, the defensive big, and the inefficient shot checker. These niggas don't run this method to get hoes. C tier, the niggas who can get hoes but are never available, 6 minutes of the year, in pure sharp something else. You can get hoes running this method, but it's gonna be very sparse. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have a consistent rotation of hoes coming through. D tier, right? You got your genetically gifted, tall, handsome, light skin that don't care. We got your 3 and D players, and we have your point generals. You're gonna have hoes. You're gonna have hoes decently around, but I would say you're not necessarily gonna be like overwhelmed with bitches. But you're gonna have hoes around. It's gonna look good, right? And then you got your A tier niggas, your rebound specialists. Now again, this nigga, his hoes are gonna look great. You know what I'm saying? The girls he get are not gonna look that good, but he's gonna get them. Your Tim Duncan builds, you know what I'm saying? You know what they do best. They're not gonna do overly crazy to fuck things up. You're very calm, respectful, 3 dates type of guy right here. And then your Carmelo Anthony build, get a bucket wherever, no matter. And then, you know what I'm saying? A tier build, you're gonna have a decent supply of hoes. You're never really gonna be in a drought. And then the S tier, the shot creator, the zesty method, the 3 and D, the point forward, both shot creator method. Y'all are gonna just be overwhelming with hoes if you run that method. In my opinion, at least. But with that being said, if you feel differently, you know what I'm saying, let me know what method you personally run to get the hoes. You know what I'm saying? Is there any methods that I've missed? Let me know. If we get enough, I might just do a part 2. Fuck it. Who knows? Yeah, but with that being said, man, I'll catch y'all boys at the next one.